Hi, I'm Father Cosmas. Thanks for joining me today for this special video series for our family ministry here at our parish. And today we're going to talk about peer pressure, but not peer pressure the way that we grew up hearing about it. We're worried about having friends that are kind of forcing us into situations where we're going to do drugs or drink or go out and perform some sort of immoral behavior. This is sort of the general peer pressure that we feel as families on a day-to-day basis. And the first thing is that we have to admit to ourselves, like it or not, there's peer pressure, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, the people that we associate with, our friends, the people that we spend time with, they can have an influence on us. It's just normal. They do things, we want to do things with them, so there's going to be a little influence back and forth. And so we have to look at that. Number one, acknowledge there is some pressure. There is some influence, some effect by the circles that we move in, the people that we associate with. It's just normal. But we have to ask ourselves, well, what is that effect? And are there any negative consequences of that effect? So for parents, they might be looking at their friends and other parents, parents of their children's friends, and seeing what they're doing and wondering, should I be doing that? They get their children phones, iPhones, when they turn 6 years old. If I don't do that, am I a bad parent? Should I be getting my kid that so my kid doesn't get left behind so they know what they're doing? I see that their kids are in Taekwondo and they're in this travel sports team and they're in this dance organization and they're in this at school and they're doing 12 things. If I don't do all that, am I failing as a parent? Am I being a bad parent? Do I have to keep up? I see that they go for spring break to Hawaii or Acapulco, and in summers they go to Greece and they go to Italy, and every other weekend they're in Napa or they're in Tahoe, and I'm not doing that. Should I be doing that? Does that make me a bad parent? I'm not keeping up. And then what is the effect of that? And for our kids too. Our kids are seeing their peers and their friends and saying, wow, she posts stuff on social media 3 hours a day. Every 5 minutes she's on Instagram and she's on TikTok and she's doing all these. Should I be doing that thing? Wow, I see my friend over there. He just got to this level on that video game. He's doing these great things with this. They just saw this movie. I didn't see that movie. Should I be doing those things too? We're constantly measuring ourselves by the bars of the people that are around us. They sort of set a bar, and we have to ask ourselves, okay, where am I relative to that bar? Am I achieving what I'm supposed to be achieving? Well, the negative impact, the temptation of that, it's a lot of things. Number one, well, jealousy. I see what they're doing and I'm not doing it, so I wish I could do it. And so it makes us jealous or envious. Then it makes us sort of not acknowledge all the things that we're blessed to be able to do and all of God's blessing. So jealousy is one. Maybe we're on the other side of it. Maybe we're the ones doing everything and we see other people not doing them and say, wow, look how great I am. Look what I'm doing. So now there's a temptation not to jealousy, but to pride. And that's also a difficulty. Or even to judgment. Wow, they're not doing those things. They really should be doing those things. Gosh, you know what? They're not really good parents, or they're not really smart. We judge people. There's all sorts of temptations. So the first thing is that there is an influence. Acknowledge it. The second thing, look for the temptations in the relationship and ask yourself, do I really want a relationship based on temptations? Try to root those things out. Don't be judgmental. Don't be jealous. Don't be prideful. Work on those things. And the third and final thing, the last thing that I'll say is, we can also have people around us who exert positive influence on us. And so maybe we need to look at the circles that we're moving in and ask ourselves, are those good circles? If we have people that are influencing us to do certain things, waste our time, waste our resources, get further and further away from Christ, we should ask ourselves, well, are those people that we want to associate with them? We don't have to continue to associate with them if they're bad influences. Maybe we want good influences in our lives. We want to say, though, there's that great couple. They go to church every Sunday. I want to go to church every Sunday. I want my kids to see their friends, to see at church. I want to see my friends. I want to sit down in coffee hour and talk to them. It's a good influence. I see what they're doing. Well, they volunteer at this charity once a month or once a week, and they talk about that, and they're very passionate about it. I'd love to do that. I see that they pray together as a family. They talk about fasting. They talk about what they eat when they're trying to fast. They talk about trying to read the Bible together. I want to do that. I want to hang out with people like that, because those people are going to help me get closer to Christ, not drag me further and further away from Christ. So there can be a positive influence as well. So these are just some things to think about. Peer pressure is real, number one. there is an influence by the people that we associate with. Number two, there's going to be temptations. Look out for those temptations and protect yourself, guard yourself against them. And lastly, try to associate with people that can be a good influence, that are helping you get closer and closer to Christ each and every day. Amen.